Hey guys, I wanted to share with you how I plan my school year out as far as lessons are concerned. Now I do work, as some of you or most of you know, for the Pasadena Independent School District, and so this year we are revamping a few things. One, obviously, because we're going virtual, but two, we are improving our curriculum, how we organize it, how we present it, and how we have that laid out and filed, so that way, you know, teachers within the district can help each other. Let's say that I were to leave and just not come back or not be teaching, the next person that comes after me has a good starting point, okay, instead of having to start from scratch. So it's a great way to help each other within the district. I know that with cosmetology instructors, well, teachers in general, but cosmetology instructors, we come from a particular background that makes it a little bit hard for us to share. And, you know, sometimes it bothers us when people ask us for things, or we just don't want to share our information or our hard work, or, you know, because I know some of our lessons and some of our projects and things like that do take us a long time, and why should I take my time and just hand out my hard work for free? I understand that. There's teachers pay teachers, and, you know, all other kinds of things, but cosmetology instructors, you know, we tend to be a little bit more not greedy, but protective of our work, because naturally, I think we just come from the background of, we work in a salon, correct? We have clients, and we service those clients, and when we service those clients, we in return get paid, obviously, and we put food on the table, and we provide for ourselves, our families, etc. And if we don't provide for our clients, or if we're sick or we don't come in that day, another stylist gets our clients, and then I possibly will lose that client, and in return that means that I lose that income. And so I know that we are naturally very protective of that, and we like to keep things for us, and I completely understand that. And sharing isn't something, you know, that comes naturally to us, because we work in the salon. That's how we kind of have that mindset for most of us. But, you know, as a teacher, as a cosmetology instructor, an educator, advisor, teacher, any kind of educator, your students are not, you're not my competition. We are not, as educators, we're not each other's competition, especially in the public sector, okay? Because your students are zoned to your school, you get paid to teach your classes. There's nothing I can do to steal your students from you or steal your paycheck from you. So we're not each other's competition. We should be helping each other. We should be supporting each other. We should be sharing. We should be open. We should just try to move past this is mine, I'm not going to share it with you, I'm not going to show it to you, I'm going to keep it for me. Because in the end, what we're doing is we're not helping the students, which is why we became teachers, right? Because you want to help the students. If I take my information and I share it with the teacher, not only am I helping my students that I teach in my school or my district, but I'm helping another set of students that I can't teach. I don't have a way to reach them, but I help those students through sharing my things with that instructor, okay, or that educator. With those students being able to learn more, grow more, have new ideas, things of the sort from our sharing between our instructors, then our industry gets better, right? Because all the good ideas, all the new ideas, all the innovation and creativity, it starts to spread, okay? And getting new ideas from other people ignites that little fire within you of creativity and wanting to do more and wanting to do better. And so that definitely, I think, in general, as a cosmetologist, as an instructor, as a educator, as a person, as a human being, I guess, as a person that loves this industry, that's what I want in the end, is I want this industry to succeed. I want it to get better. I want it to be stronger. I want the people in the industry to be more educated and just be amazing what they do and love what they do. Okay, and so I can't do or see that if I just hoard my stuff and I don't put it out there and share it. So I wanted to start off with that, okay? So don't be afraid to ask for help. If someone says no, that's okay. Just understand where they're coming from. That's just kind of how we are naturally. But if you have great ideas and you have great things to share, do share. Why not? Okay? In the end, again, we're helping the industry as a whole, and we're all in the industry together, no matter where we're from, what our specialty is, or where we teach, or any of the sort. Okay? All right, second thing, some of these documents I can share with you, some of them I can't because they are district documents, and so I'll share them with you through this video, but I'm not particularly sure just yet, I haven't gotten clearance, if I can share some particular documents because they're district documents, okay? All right, but it's very easy to create them in the spreadsheet, okay? All right, so what I want to go over or share with you today is our teaks, how I take the teaks from the bare bones of just printing them to dissecting them to organizing my chapters, my lessons, and organizing my year for the entire school year, okay? We are working on principles of cosmetology. Now, I like to focus on principles because it is a course that a lot of teachers or schools or districts are starting to roll into their program. So there's not much, well, there's not much out there for cosmetology, period, but there's not much out there for principles of cosmetology. Okay, and it's the color theory, but I just call it principles of Cosmo, okay? So this is my 9th grade students. Personally, I feel like the intro and the principles should be flipped. I think intro should be 9th grade and principles should be 10th grade just because of the content, but it's okay, we're gonna work with it. All right, so this is my little folder, and y'all, it's been all over the place, so excuse how crazy messy it looks, okay? But I want to share with you what is in my folder and all of it. Now, on some of this I do have previous videos, so I'm not going to go through everything because that's a whole other video on its own, but I'll review some things and I'll go through the stack here. All right, so during the summer, if I have a chance, when I have a chance, I'd like to prep my lessons for the entire school year. First of all, I've learned through my 10 years, this is now my 11th year of teaching cosmetology with the district, I have learned that during the school year, you don't have time. You don't have time to sit down and plan and dissect and think, and you don't have time to use the bathroom. You don't have time to do this, okay? There's so much that goes on. So if I get this done in the summer, I know it's my summer and I know I want to just be sitting watching Netflix and such, but if I take the time to organize myself, even if it takes me an all-nighter or a couple days or a whole week in the summer, I guaranteed that my school year is going to go by so much smoother. If I knew that when I first started, I would have saved so much time, okay? So I highly suggest that you do that. Just take some time, prep, plan, even if it's, I know school year is overwhelming and it's hard to plan, especially like this 2020 school year, this 1920 school year. It was like, I planned and the second semester was like just trash, right? Because we had to revamp everything for virtual teaching. So do plan, but keep in mind that things change. Things happen, schools close, bad weather, rain, a pandemic, you know, things of the sort. Plan with the intention of getting that plan done, but also keep in mind and plan to have a backup plan in case you have to change any of those things, okay? And be okay with it. Be okay with it. Be flexible, okay? So I have my little stack of papers here, and I'm going to go through each one of them. Okay, the first thing that you're going to need when you're preparing for your school year, lesson-wise, are going to be your teaks. Okay, these you can get from TEA. Okay, so just Google them, TEA, Cosmetology, latest Cosmetology, TEACS, Principles of Cosmetology, and literally it'll pop up. So all you gotta do is just read it and click on it, and bam, there you go. Okay, make sure they're the updated ones, because there's some on there that are like from a long time ago, so make sure they're the latest ones. Okay, all right, so, and on their website they do have the latest one, so it's the TEA website. Okay, so here I have Principles of Cosmetology, Design and Color Theory. It's 1 credit and it was adopted in 2015. Okay, hasn't changed since then. I have a whole video on this, like I said, but I'm just going to quickly run through it. There's the letter A, B, and C. The letter A and B, it just talks about the course. You know, some of the things that the students are going to be doing, things of the sort, okay? I read it, I know it, I don't, you know, pay too much attention to that. What matters to me is the C, the knowledge and skills. Now, TEACS. TEACS stands for Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. TEACS, for those of you that are new teachers and even maybe some seasoned teachers that haven't had any training on this, because this took me forever to learn. I couldn't find somebody that could dissect it to me, that can explain it to me, that can help me understand what is this? Well, what is all this? How do I use it? Why do I need it? What's the point? How do I integrate it into my classroom? I didn't know, and it took me forever. And finally, I got it. Or at least I think I got it. If someone out there knows better than what I'm saying, please let me know so you can teach me, so I can learn, please, okay? And I apologize if it's wrong, but from what I have learned over the years, this is how I come to understand it. Okay, so Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. Texas, because we're governed by Texas, obviously, so each state will have their own TEACS, if they're even called that. In another state, I'm not sure. So essential means that it is a must. It is a must. It's what the state of Texas mandates that you, the teacher of the classroom, must teach your students. Okay, and then knowledge and skills, the K and the S, and in the letter C, knowledge and skills. This is what you, the teacher, must teach the students, what they need to know knowledge-wise, and what they need to be able to do skill-wise, okay? This is per the state of Texas, all right? Every so often they do change them up and edit and update, so you make sure that yours is current, okay? Don't be using any of the old stuff from back in the day, okay? Make sure it's current. All right, so like I said, the C, the knowledge and skills, is what I'm interested in. Okay, under the C, we have some numbers. We have 1, 2, and now this is my actual, what my stuff looks like. So sorry, it's all mumble jumbled. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, I have 6 sections within this course, Principles of Cosmo, that I have to cover with my students. Okay, 6 units. We have 6 weeks in our school year, so I take advantage of that, and it's perfect for me. So I do 1 6 weeks is number 1, number 2 could be the second 6 weeks, number 3 the third 6 weeks, etc., etc. Okay. Nowhere on this document or on the website or anywhere does it say that you have to go in order, that you have to teach it a certain way, that you have to use a certain textbook, that you have to teach every single chapter in the textbook, that you have to go in order of the chapters in the textbook. Nowhere does it say that, okay? I have not found all these years anywhere where it says that. At the beginning, I was obsessed with that. I was like, no, we start with chapter 1, we go all the way to chapter 32, and that's it. No, that is not true. You can do it that way, but that is not true. You organize it how it best fits your classroom and your teaching style, your students, your projects, your calendar, your school events, competitions, things of the sort, okay? So, excuse me, let's go with knowledge and skills, number 1, okay? Here we have the student demonstrates professional standards, employability skills as required by business and industry. The student is expected to, and then we have some letters, A through J. So this is what the student needs to do. A, demonstrate professionalism is in how to dress appropriately, speak politely, and conduct oneself in a manner appropriate for the profession and worksite. So, the state of Texas is telling me that I, as the principal's cosmetology instructor of that classroom, need to make sure that the students signed up for this class need to know before they leave me at the end of the school year, so they get their credit and they pass and all, they need to know how to demonstrate professionalism, etc., etc. Okay? They need to know that. Okay? So this is what I'm teaching the students. All right? So again, I have a whole video describing and discussing and going and highlighting and all that from the very beginning with the blank document. This is what I've worked on, and I just, I've worked on it. So it's the same with every 6 weeks. So we have business and industry is one section, one unit, however you want to call it. I'll call it section. Then we have design and color, okay, the academic skills of design and color. Then we have rules and regulations established by TDLR. Then we have proficiency in the use of tools, equipment, technologies, and materials. Then we have academic knowledge, actual work situations. And lastly, we have career paths, okay, within obviously cosmetology. So again, because we have six weeks, it just worked out that I personally am using one section per 6 weeks. Okay, I'm focusing on that. So it worked out for me. In the introduction to cosmetology, there's only 5 sections. So then I have one entire 6 weeks that I can play with, should I choose to do that. Okay, so you do need your teaks. Print it, hole punch it, staple it, draw all over it, make your notes, and refer back to it as much as you need. Okay, the second thing that I have here is a district document. Again, this is not something that I believe I can share, so I apologize, I'm not going to, but I'm gonna share with you through here. Okay, so sorry, I'm not gonna email this out. I don't have the authorization to do that. Okay, but you can easily create this in a PowerPoint slide, Google Drive, or Google Slide, or Word, or Excel, or whatnot. Okay, so this we have worked on our GVC, or Guaranteed Viable Curriculum, meaning that we can share within the district. If I leave, this curriculum stays with the district, and whoever comes after me has a good starting point. Okay, me as the contents specialist of my classroom, because I'm the one that teaches it, I created this, and we worked together with the team. I created this. It has my input, my knowledge, my experience, and the next person that comes in can take this and say, oh, okay, I know where to start, and then they can make it their own. Okay, if you don't have this within your district, talk to your district, your CTE admin team. Definitely something that is awesome to have, and I feel important to have, and every district should have this, okay, for all pathways, all classes, all courses in CTE. Okay, I know for sure core classes have it. Okay, so what this is a breakdown of the TEKS. So what we've been doing for the last few years, we have been creating our power standards, or selecting our power standards. Okay, so this particular one, and of course I've edited because I had made some mistakes. This is my Principles of Cosmetology course. In the middle here, we have my first 6 weeks, professionalism and employee. I messed that up. So business and industry, actually. Okay, so for this particular one, business and industry, again, that was a typo. Okay, I'm going to teach that for the first 6 weeks. Now, with this whole pandemic, I was going to start with the rules and regulations of TDLR with Chapter 5. But I changed my mind. I don't think I want to bombard the students with more pandemic-related stuff. I want to kind of pull away from that a little bit. So I'm just going to go back to normal and do business and industry. Okay, so that is the one I'm starting with. Okay, so that would be this first section. It just so happened that it fell in the first section. Okay, so we have up here on the top our standards, our power standards. So our standards are the letters, each one of these, what I'm supposed to teach the students. Okay, understand that some of these standards, if you go to the Introduction to Cosmetology TEKS, and even the Cosmo 1, Cosmo 2, some of these are repetitive. So we went through them and we selected the need to know. There's nice to know and there's need to know. So for our district, we selected those. So we have the need to know, which are the ones in pink, which are our power standards. And I said, okay, well, before the students leave me this school year, they must know this information, the ones in the pink, okay? So these we went ahead and put here, 1A, C, G, H, and J, which match these letters, okay? We just copy pasted up here. Now, the B, employ the ability to be trustworthy by complying with an ethical course of action. That one I didn't choose because maybe I cover it with this top one, or I cover it next year. Okay, so it doesn't mean I throw it away. No, I still teach everything. It's just maybe not right now. Or maybe this particular TEKS is in another section and I teach it the next 6 weeks or next semester. So because it's not on here, it doesn't mean I don't teach it. Okay, so we have the must knows here. The parts, the I can statements, what is it that the students should be able to do when they're done teaching, when they're done learning this? So at the end of my 6 weeks, when I'm done covering business and industry, I've taught all of my standards, my must know, the students should be able to, I can demonstrate professionalism and how to dress appropriately, speak politely, and conduct myself in a manner appropriate for the profession in cosmetology. Okay, so that's what those statements are. Okay, again, it is more of a copy-paste of this here. So it's a little redundant, but that's just to make it clear. Here we have our vocabulary. So we took from our TEKS, we took what vocabulary is important for the students to know. Rules, laws, relations, workflow, relationships, simulations, things of the sort. So we took all those vocabs, which are in yellow, okay? Then we have our verbs. What is it the students are going to do? Okay, they're gonna, and we took them again from here, and those are circled in red. Okay, we demonstrate, dress, speak, conduct, handle, all of those. What are the doing things? Okay, what are students going to do? What are students going to be able to do? Okay, and then we have our assessment. How do we know that we covered this, that we taught all of this, and that the students are able to do these? Okay, and know this information. So we have an open-ended discussion, and then down here we have our questions. So just some random questions. For example, what does it mean to prioritize? What does that mean to you? What are some clothing items that are not acceptable in our profession? Okay, so these questions can be any question, because these are just 5, but there's an endless amount of questions that can be. It doesn't have to be just these. These were just examples. Okay, and then of course the Milady chapter assessment, which we work with the book Milady. Okay, I personally in my classroom use the bluish with the girl with the yellow eyeshadow. So I know it's at one edition behind, but the upperclassmen use a black one, and so that way they don't have the same book for 4 years. So we do have them take the chapter test for this particular 6 weeks. Okay, all right, so we have our power standards. So that's how we take it from our TEKS to our GVC, dissecting our standards. And so this is the second 6 weeks, third 6 weeks, fourth, fifth. Each one of them have the information till the 6 weeks. Okay, and that did take a while, but we finally got that done. So those are the 2 documents. The next thing that I do is I have my school district calendar. Now what I like to do is I like to print it in color because it does have the key down here. And I print this for all the students to have one. One, because we track our hours, but two, because we need to know when is what. And so what I like to do is I like to go in and we teach by 6 weeks. So I like to, and it says down here 6 weeks grading period. It gives me the weeks and then the date frames. And so then I like to color code and highlight. Now y'all, I want to share with you my latest purchase. Well, not latest, but I just opened it, and I don't know how I didn't open it sooner, but this is the King Art brand. This is not a paid commercial advertisement endorsement or anything. I just totally love these. These are the gel sticks. They come in these 2 little boxes. And let me show you how awesome they are. I love, 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 love these. So let's do pink. And they're kind of like, I don't know how to describe them. You get your finger dirty when you feel them, but it's not ink, but it's like a crayon, but it's not like a crayon. Oh, I love it. I just love it. All right, so these are cool. I know we Cosmo people, we're creative and love all these kinds of different medias and such, so I thought I'd share. Okay, I got these at Tuesday Morning. Typically they're about $25 for the set, and I got them for $12. So love Tuesday Morning. All right, so we have the 6 weeks here, and it does come off just a little bit. So if you don't like a transfer of your color, maybe not the best for you. But the 6 weeks is from 4/12 to 5/26. So then here's 4/12, and then here's 5/26. So then I just highlight all of that. Okay, so now I know. And then knowing me, I'm going to go back and color the whole square, but for right now, we're good with that, okay? So I have the dates of when the 6 weeks are going to be. Very important for me to have. I put this in my planner and transfer the dates to my planner and put this on the wall and have it in my desk, in my office. I just make tons of copies of these because it's important to have. So I have my calendar, okay? Okay, here we go. So then, I'm a paper pencil kind of gal. I love technology, but I love better just writing it out. I like to erase and mark out, and you can see all of my notes. This is crazy. But I like to be able to put it on a rough draft first before I go and type it up, okay? So this is my Principles of Cosmetology outline, okay? Now, this particular outline is not the one for this school year. It was the one for last school year, I believe. So the dates don't match this year's dates, in case you're dissecting that, okay? Sorry, my camera turned off there. Okay, so the first 6 weeks I'm going to teach about business and industry. The second 6 weeks about TDLR, okay? So that's this one. The third 6 weeks I'm going to teach about career pathways, and mainly because we teach Cooter for principals classes during that 6 weeks for the whole district. All of our 9th graders cover that, and so it falls there for me. When we come back from the school year in January, from the regular year in January, we go to design and color theory because they're ready to get hands-on. It's the start of the school year. Spring break is coming up. I need them excited and engaged and ready to go, so they want to get into the content, hands-on stuff. So we start design and color theory, which is this one here, and then we go to, and I had switched these around because I thought, well, they need to know about the tools before they can actually start working on simulated and actual work situations. So I did switch those around. So the 5th 6 weeks I'll teach about tools and equipment, and then the 6th 6 weeks I'll teach about the work situations. Okay, so that's how I ordered my sections, my power standard, my standards, my sections of my TEKs, to however it best fit my classroom, my lessons, my school, their there's certain projects like Skills USA competitions that fall in here, and I need to make sure I align it correctly. As a first year teacher, you're not going to be able to have all of that concretely, but you'll get there. Okay, if working 6 weeks at a time works for you, do that. Don't get overwhelmed and try to do the whole school year if you're not comfortable or you're not there yet. Okay. All right, so once I paper pencil and I make all my scratches and sketches and all of that good stuff, that's my rough draft. And I'm ready for my actual paper copy. These are two methods. In our district, we used to have what before our GVC, or Guaranteed Viable Curriculum, we used to have a year at a glance, our YAG. Okay, this one is from 2018-19. My printer here at home right now, I couldn't connect to it, so I couldn't print. That's why I have pulled out from my binders the old stuff, because I could not print for the life of me. I couldn't connect my printer, so I apologize for this being outdated, but this is still how I do it. This is just an old copy. So again, this information doesn't match this information, but it's pretty much the same thing, okay? All right, so then here we have our week. So we go from the first week of school to the 37th week of school. And again, I use my calendar to help me and make sure that, I count the weeks, make sure that we're good. And then this is the first 6 weeks, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth 6 weeks, which again, I go through, make sure I know how many weeks are in each 6 weeks, because not all 6 weeks have, like the fourth 6 weeks only had 5 weeks. So there was nothing here in this week right here. Same as the third 6 weeks this year, okay? We did have a fifth 6 weeks. I don't know why that one's gone. This must have just been a practice sheet I was working on, okay? Again, just for an example, okay? So from here, okay, I have my weeks. Teacher responsible is sometimes we have 2 teachers that teach the same thing. So maybe, let's say Miss Martinez and I teach Principles of Cosmetology. She'll be responsible for one chapter 1 week. I'll be responsible for the other. But because on my campus, I'm the only one that teaches, or my district, I'm the only one that teaches principles, then my name is down all the way through, okay? So that one's a little irrelevant, but if you co-teach, then that would be helpful to know who's responsible for what lesson or who's teaching what, okay? So that's that. The middle part, the curriculum topic. This is what we definitely focus on. It is a transfer of this information here. So again, these are old copies, but for example, welcome and orientation on the first week of school, okay? So here we have week 1, welcome to CTHS Cosmetology Department. So this is for me, my welcome. A lot of times we have transfers, we have altered schedules, we have assemblies, things of the sort, students getting schedule change out or in or things of the sort. So I don't want to get to the nitty-gritty at the first week, because then I'm going to have to go back and reteach it or go over it once I have a full class. Okay, so these are icebreakers, team building activities, all about me, get your binder together, get your dream board, things of the sort, okay? Then week 2, we have orientation, which we go over the rules, TDLR rules and regulations, chapter 5, infection control, or whatever chapter you want to teach, right? So week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6, okay? Same thing. These are the chapters and what I'm focusing on the second 6 weeks, third 6 weeks, and so forth and so on, okay? Again, this is different than this one, okay? For example, on this one, we have week 1, I'm doing welcome and orientation. On week 2, we're doing face painting and Skills USA week, okay? Introducing Skills USA for theory, and then this will be our hands-on lab, okay? Then week 3, history of and career opportunities. Then we have week 4, chapter 2, life skills. Week 5, chapter 3, professional image, okay? What I'm not saying that you have to teach this the first 6 weeks or this the first 6 weeks. I'm not saying that, okay? You do have to make sure that you teach this let's say if you decide to teach this the first 6 weeks of school or 9 weeks or whatnot, you do have to make sure you teach this. What you use, what resource you use to teach it is up to you. Now, the Milady and the Pivot Point books are the two books that are, or there's not just one book, they have various kinds, but the two brands, I guess you can say, that they are adopted by the state of Texas. So the state of Texas says, yes, you can use those books to teach with. And then, of course, you know, with our cosmetology license, the test, the practice, and all of that for theory and such. So, and hands-on, practical. So you can use, for sure, those two books. But you can teach from anything on the internet. You can teach from your experience. You can teach from any book in the world that has anything to do with this information here. As long as, doesn't matter what resource you use, or how you use it, but as long as the student knows this information by the time they leave you. Okay? Nowhere does it say you have to only use the textbook and you can only use these textbooks. Okay? You can teach from anything. It is solely a resource for you to teach with, but obviously they're the ones that our industry uses. Okay? Our education sector uses. Okay, so just keep and bear that in mind. Okay, one thing I wanted to point out, in business and industry, one of our power standards, I keep referring back to this. What was the other one? What was I going to say? And I wrote it down here to be very specific. Something about communication. I'm trying to read it to see which one it was. But, for example, this particular one, business and industry, it does cover, you know, talking about, demonstrate effective oral and written communication skills. When I read that in this power standard, I'm thinking, oh, communication skills. Oh, I have a chapter in the book called Communication for Success. I must teach, or I'm going to teach that chapter when I teach business and industry. You can pull the whole chapter. You can pull bits and pieces from the chapter, or the other chapters that you cover may cover that power standard, that TEAC. Okay. When I go to career paths, I put in here Chapter 4, Communication for Success. I'm going to teach that TEAC, making sure that they learn that in either one or multiple or all of my sections. Because communication for, although I'm teaching the actual chapter here, we're still talking about consultations when we're and working with each other, and how to, just communicate in general, different things. I'm teaching that throughout the whole school year. So don't feel like you have to teach it here and you can only teach it here and then you're done. No, that's not how it works. Sanitation, you just don't teach it here and then forget about it over here. You teach it the whole 4 years, okay? So just keep in mind that there's flexibility with this, okay? So there's my paper copy. After my paper copy, I then put it in my outline. Okay, this is like a pacing guide. This was created a few years ago. Okay, it took us a while to get this done within our district. Here's the new one. It's what it's going to look like, and I have not, and again, I couldn't print the one that I already have done, so I only had these extra empty copies. Okay. So we're 6 weeks, so I put 3 weeks in one and 3 weeks in another. This is a document that is a district document, so again, I don't have authority to share it out or email it out, but it's very easy to create in a spreadsheet type of document or Word document, okay, or even a paper pencil. But this is my Principles of Cosmetology course. This is first, second, third week, fourth, fifth, and 6 weeks. Put it in 2 because it just kind of helps me when my grading periods are coming up and such. Okay, so here we have our week. So This document is this document. It's just detailed and better laid out and more explained. We as a district are evolving, and each time that we we progress, so each time that we go back and look at something, we make it better, okay, for all of our we try to make it better for all of our teachers, okay. Okay, so we have our week, so I will put our date here, okay, what date I'm teaching what, put in here the weeks, what is our unit or our lesson, okay. So this is my first 6 weeks. What am I going to teach the first week of school? Okay, well, the welcome and the orientation, okay? Or the third week of school, we're working on Chapter 1, History of Cosmetology, okay? What is my power standard? So then I'm going to go back to my power standard. Which ones, what are the numbers? I'm not going to read it out or write it out, but what are my power standards? 1A or 1G or 1, whatever you're covering for that week. The objectives, the I can is going to be here. After this week of me covering history of cosmetology, what is the student going to be able to do? I can what? Okay, and it's related to the power standard. What is my evidence of learning? Excuse me, what is my evidence of learning? How do I know that the student can do that? Okay, well, that is going to go with our verb. The student has demonstrated the knowledge of the history of cosmetology, okay? Well, how do I know that? Well, they created their history of cosmetology timeline, because this is the activity and resources. I'm going to use the Milady, Cengage Milady textbook, chapter 1, and we're doing MindTap chapter 1. Done. Okay, so again, it's very repetitive within all of the documents. We've just made it better. So then when I look at this pacing document, or anyone looks at this pacing document, my admin comes in and looks at this pacing document. She says, okay, Montserrat is on week 3. That's where we're at. She's teaching history of cosmetology. These are the power standards that she's covering. The students should be able to do this. The way that we know that the students can do that is by them doing what? What are the verbs? And then how are they going to be able to do all of that? Well, they're going to be doing their timeline, they're going to be reading the book, looking at a PowerPoint, looking at a video, things of the sort, okay? So this is very detailed, has come with years of preparation, but it is how our district has moved into these past few years. When I first started, it literally was just paper pencil. Literally, that's how and that's, I guess, why maybe I just love the paper pencil. Now it's all digital, and now we can share within our district, things of the sort. Again, talk to your district CT admin team. If they don't have something like this, I would, highly encourage districts to get into something like this, because it is very helpful, especially for all the new teachers. And again, I know we teachers don't like to share, but we need to share, because isn't it nice when someone shares with us, right? So then we need to share back, okay? So this is the principles of cosmetology. Again, this is the current pacing document. Then we have the year at a glance that we used to, which is also a pacing document. It just is not as detailed. We have our hand draft, our rough draft of how we want our school year to go, what I want to teach where and when, and what other projects and stuff will fit in here. Then we have our power standards that we have broken down from our TEKS. Okay, so this is, we have our calendar as well. Very important. So this is definitely something that all teachers should do in some way or form. Again, this has taken a very long time to create and make through the years of learning everything, but I hope that this helps some of you guys. Check out the other videos that I have, especially on doing the TEKS, because it goes more into depth about how to dissect them and such. But I wish everybody a fantastic school year, a stressless school year. That I know that's not even going to be a thing in 2020 and 2021, but I wish you guys the best. Thank you so much for subscribing and tuning in. Don't forget to hit that bell so you get a notification every time I post a video, and we will see you guys on